Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Thursday the 25th of June. This is Kim Watson speaking for Ezeetrader. So looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can see yesterday we ended up with an inside day, giving us a bullish harami effectively. A break of the upside of this, well, maybe we could rally up a little bit further. However, looking at it on the 4-hourly chart, and things certainly look like we're still in this sort of bear flag situation on the 4-hourly, so breaks of the lower trend may see yet another step lower. The euro situation, or the Greek situation, is nowhere near being finalised or a deal being made. It's still back and forth, so we still end up in limbo on that one. Okay, looking for now, looking at a 60-minute chart here. What's that really give us? Well, it's in a hell of a lot of chop in the short term. We've got, we can pop on a couple of trend lines here. So, there we go, a bit of a squeezed position effectively. Now, general trend is down here on this, we're sort of looking at a downward trend here. Overall on this hourlies, it's sitting around the daily pivot there at the moment, just slightly above. It's a possibility it could run up if it breaks yesterday's highs. Well, that's the bullish harami that's sort of taking part, and well, certainly could run up to R1, possibly S1 there. Yesterday I was looking for that 50 MA to be hit, and as it was close to it, well, it's just come down to price. So it's now making it look a little bit more bullish because the price is over the 50, but overall it's in chop and there's a lot of uncertainty on this market. If however, I've looked at the upside there, if we start seeing it break these lows, well, certainly the S1 looks like a possibility, and maybe a very badly drawn line there. And even worse now, we would be heading for yesterday's lows there. The lows from Tuesday. We'll be looking for Tuesday's lows possibly. So it's so choppy. It'd be just nice to get some direction on this, or more direction on this. At the moment, earning tool, I'd prefer to be with the bigger money on the downside. However, realise that there's a possibility of a potential move or retracement here. Okay, let's look at the pound. Okay, so what we've got here, a continuation of this sort of yesterday. It's giving me inverted hammerish sort of thing. It's not really. It still looks to me relatively bearish here. Just putting in, continue putting in sort of a downward bars here. Looking at, there's not a lot there. It's just really looking. I mean, the bigger trend when you're just looking at things here is obviously down at the moment. We do have the daily pivot above us, so there's the possibility of a break of a trend here, which may see us move towards that way. Really, almost would favour the downside down towards the daily R1, S1. Yesterday's lows first, maybe S1 if we see a continuation to this downside. So simply just put the trend lines on there, draw them on there properly now. So you've got a trend line going across here, we've got a short-term trend line running across here somewhere, which may, as I say, may see us run up towards that daily pivot. If everything starts selling though, I'd rather be on the downside here. Again, the bigger trades would be to the downside for me, smaller money to the upside. Okay, looking at the dollar yen, and let's start with the bigger picture. It's yesterday doji sell-off so far today, indecision strengthening a little bit the yen against the dollar here. It may want to come back towards that 50 MA, but well, it's very, very bitty. It's put a high in here, and I'm just wondering if it will just look to break down some more here. So it's got that possible move kicking in. any weakness really across the, we have got the daily pivot untouched, which would suggest upside. Any weakness, any movements to the upside rather, I would see the daily pivot as a target potentially. A break of these lows, well, we could go back, or we've got support on the 200 potentially, although it's quite flat. I'm just looking across the levels here in terms of where the horizontal support. That 200, as I say, could provide some 200 moving average could provide some support. Obviously the S2 just below that, but it's broken its trend effectively, so certainly, as I say, could strengthen a little bit more. Any bounces though would be looking for the pivot. Okay, Aussie dollar. Let's come out, look at the bigger picture here. Well, it's still in its chop zone. It still hasn't really moved out of that. We're sitting in this sort of rising wedge effectively. Still rising effectively, but looking at the 4 hourlies, well, it's managed to move back up towards the prior highs there. So the thing with the Aussie, it never surprises me when it just sells back off into range. There is the potential, a bit of divergence back into that weekly pivot. So any charges up into the weekly pivot are one area, may provide resistance there. It's running quite strongly, already done the daily pivot. It's a bit like weird in terms of its movement relative to other markets. It's trying to be stronger, but ending up range bound all the time. So perhaps a break of that range may see us push up a little bit higher, but then we've got the resistance at the previous highs here. It's one I've just sort of been keeping well away from most of the time, although it has had reasonably clean moves during the daytime. There's the possibility, as I say, running into resistance at this level here at 77.54. If it does roll over, well, it'll just be trading back into range, maybe back towards the daily pivot and beyond. But at the moment, looking erring to, as I say, heading towards resistance. Break of the resistance, well, maybe it could push up higher back towards the monthly pivot eventually. But as I say, it's been so choppy, it's a difficult one to call. Okay, news today, we've got the Economic Summit continuing. There'll be Greek talks continuing today. We've got, I say continuing, it's day one of the Economic Summit. But we've got the Economic Summit all day. Greek talks are due to resume at some point. 1:30, we've got the usual weekly unemployment claims and some personal spending, etc. in the US, core PCE. So it could be a bit of volatility about 1:30. And we've got FOMC member speaking at 2:45. So bit of volatility maybe this afternoon. Not a lot else there. So that's it for today. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.